Space is no longer an empty frontier, it is now a busy highway filled with thousands of satellites. These satellites are very important for life on Earth. They help us navigate with GPS, communicate across the world, and predict the weather. For the United States, satellites are also critical for national security. They allow the military to gather intelligence, guide smart weapons, and communicate with soldiers anywhere on the planet. Because these satellites are so vital, protecting them has become a top priority for the American government and its armed forces. It is a big job. The challenge is that space is becoming more crowded and competitive. More countries, including potential adversaries like China and Russia, are launching their own satellites. Some of these new satellites have the ability to move around and get very close to other objects in orbit. This creates a new kind of risk. A country could use its satellites to inspect, damage, or even disable another nation's satellites without firing a single shot. This makes it crucial for the United States to have a clear picture of what is happening thousands of miles above the Earth. Watching these objects is the first step to keeping our space assets safe. To address this growing threat, America needs new ways to monitor activity in space. The old methods of watching from the ground with telescopes are no longer enough. We need to be able to get up close and see what other satellites are doing. This requires space domain awareness, which is just a fancy way of saying we need to know what is happening in orbit at all times. The U.S. Space Force is tasked with this mission, and it needs tools that can respond quickly and provide detailed information. The goal is to prevent surprises and make sure no one can threaten American satellites without being seen. This is where a new generation of companies comes into the picture. In the past, only huge government agencies like NASA had the resources to build and launch advanced spacecraft. Today, private companies are developing amazing new technologies at a much faster pace and for less money. This shift is changing how America approaches space defense. Instead of building everything itself, the government can now partner with innovative private firms. These partnerships allow the military to access cutting-edge technology quickly, helping the U.S. stay ahead in this new, more complicated space race. It is all about being smarter and faster. To meet the new challenges in space, two innovative American companies have teamed up. They are Anduril Industries and Impulse Space. Their joint mission, set to launch in late 2026, is designed to show the world a new way to monitor space. Anduril is known for its advanced defense technology, using artificial intelligence and modern software. Impulse Space is a leader in space propulsion, building powerful engines that can move satellites around in orbit very quickly. Together, they are creating a system that can act as a high-speed orbital patrol vehicle for the United States. This partnership is a perfect example of how the private sector is helping to advance national security. Anduril brings the brains of the mission, while Impulse provides the muscle. The plan is to launch a special satellite that can travel to geostationary orbit, a very high and important orbit where many critical communication and military satellites are located. Once there, this new satellite will be able to perform what are called rendezvous and proximity operations, or RPO. This means it can carefully approach other satellites to inspect them and gather information from a safe distance. The collaboration began because both companies saw a need for faster and more agile capabilities in space. The U.S. government has been clear that it needs to be able to respond to threats in orbit within hours, not weeks or months. Anduril and Impulse Space realized that by combining their unique technologies, they could create a solution that meets this exact need. Their mission is not just a science experiment, it is a demonstration of a real-world military capability. It shows that commercial companies can build and operate systems that are just as effective, if not more so, than traditional government-built ones. This mission also highlights a broader trend in the space industry. Companies are no longer just building satellites for one specific purpose. Instead, they are developing flexible platforms that can be used for many different tasks. The satellite being built by Anduril and Impulse could be used for military surveillance, but its core technologies could also be used for commercial satellite servicing, like repairing or refueling older satellites. This dual-use approach makes the technology more affordable and sustainable, benefiting both national security and the commercial space economy. Everyone wins. One of the biggest challenges in space is the time it takes to get anywhere. Geostationary orbit, or GEO, is located about 36,000 kilometers, nearly 22,300 miles above the Earth. Using traditional satellite propulsion systems, it can take many months for a satellite to travel from its initial low Earth orbit up to GEO. This long travel time is a major problem for national security. If a threat emerges in GEO, the United States cannot afford to wait months to send a satellite to investigate. Speed is absolutely essential for a meaningful response. Impulse Space was founded to solve this exact problem. Impulse Space has developed a revolutionary propulsion system to dramatically cut down this travel time. The company, founded by a former SpaceX engineer, created a powerful space tug called Mira. This spacecraft is equipped with a high-thrust engine that can move heavy payloads through space much faster than older electric propulsion systems. For this special mission, Mira will be paired with an even more powerful upper stage called the Helios Kick Stage. This combination is the key to the mission's incredible speed. It acts like a powerful rocket booster that fires in space. Thanks to this advanced technology, the Anduril Impulse satellite will be able to travel from low Earth orbit to geostationary orbit in less than 24 hours. Think about that. A journey that used to take months can now be completed in a single day. This is a game changer for space operations. It means that if the Space Force detects a suspicious object near a valuable American satellite, it can launch a mission and have an eye in the sky on the scene almost immediately. This capability, known as tactically responsive space, gives the US a massive strategic advantage. The technology is not just for military use. Other companies are already signing up to use Impulse's high-speed transportation service. For example, a company that operates communication satellites can use Impulse to get its new satellites into their final orbit much faster, allowing them to start generating revenue sooner. This commercial interest proves that the technology is reliable and cost-effective. By serving both government and commercial customers, Impulse Space can produce its systems at a larger scale, which helps drive down costs for everyone, including the US military. Having a fast satellite is only half the solution. Once it arrives at its destination, it needs to be able to see what is going on. This is where Anduril Industries comes in. Anduril is providing the advanced sensor payload and the intelligent software that will serve as the eyes and brain of the mission. Their technology is designed to track other objects in space with incredible precision, even under the most difficult conditions. Ordinary cameras would not work well in the harsh environment of space, especially when an object is in Earth's shadow. To solve this problem, Anduril has developed a special long-wave infrared camera. This sensor can detect the faint heat signature that all objects emit, even if they are not reflecting any sunlight. This is extremely important for space surveillance. For example, if a satellite is hiding in the Earth's shadow during an eclipse, a normal camera would see nothing but blackness. But Anduril's infrared imager can still detect the object, allowing the US to track it continuously. This means there are no blind spots and nowhere for an adversary's satellite to hide. But a powerful camera is not enough. The satellite also needs to be smart enough to understand what it is seeing and react on its own. Anduril is loading the spacecraft with its Lattice software, which is an advanced operating system powered by artificial intelligence. This software can process the data from the camera in real time, automatically identify other satellites, and even command the spacecraft to maneuver for a better look. This autonomy is crucial because it reduces the need for constant control from human operators on the ground, making the system faster and more efficient. This mission is a major step forward for America's defense in space. By combining Impulse's rapid transport with Anduril's smart surveillance systems, the US will gain an unprecedented ability to monitor the geostationary belt. It allows the military to protect its high-value satellites and keep a close watch on the activities of other nations. More importantly, it signals a new era where private companies are at the forefront of developing national security solutions. This new model of government-industry partnership is making America's presence in space stronger, safer, and more responsive than ever before. The future of space security is here.